Have on the Liberty University Newsmaker line a good friend of this program, Pastor John MacArthur. Pastor MacArthur, hope you're doing good today. You hope you're not in jail today.
No, I'm not, Todd. I'm free.
Thank goodness. Because I asked this, we were kind of joking here, but in all seriousness, I understand that you were threatened with jail time.
Yeah, at first it was the threat of 90 days in jail. Then the last time I saw it, it was 6 months in jail. But that hasn't been activated yet. In fact, we had the sixth hearing in court on Friday. 6 times the county's taken us to court. And the judge has still not ruled on that. So there's really been no outcome yet that could be measured in terms of a fine or contempt of court or jail or whatever. So they can't seem to get what they want. The county can't. They've been frustrated 6 times in court, but we'll see what comes next.
I was reading a court document. I guess they had some environmental agents that came to the church. They observed you guys laughing and applauding and hugging, and they seem to be very, very upset that that church members laughed at some of the rules and regulations coming out of the health department.
Well, the irony of that whole thing was those 3 health guys that were there, 2 of them are believers, and they stayed in the service the whole time without distancing, without masks, and they were applauding and they were joining in. 2 of them are believers, and they even complimented my son-in-law on the song he sang. And so, yeah, it's a little bit disingenuous, but they're doing their duty. The word we got was, this is interesting, 90% of the health department is disgusted with what they're doing to Grace Church.
Is that right? 90%, and yet they're still going after you guys.
Well, look, Todd, here's the latest statistic. This came out in court Friday. If you're living in California, here's the chance you're going to die from COVID. This was presented to the court. 1 chance in 19.1 million. That's the chance you're going to die from COVID in California currently.
Unbelievable. Here in Memphis, Tennessee, Pastor MacArthur, the 3rd most dangerous city in America, they canceled high school football, and a bunch of the football players were protesting down at the school board. And one of the teenage kids said, we've got a better chance of getting shot in the streets of Memphis, Tennessee, than we do of catching this virus on our football team. I think a lot of people around the country are waking up and realizing that something is not right here, that we have been possibly duped.
Yeah, and then the CDC came out this morning and said 6 feet doesn't work. You might need a double, triple mask, and you might need 16 feet. And then, oops, 3 hours later they came back and said we were wrong about that. So they're inventing things as they go. That's kind of what we feel. We've never had anyone in our church sick in the hospital or die, and we've been meeting for 8-9 weeks with 6, 7, 8,000 people.
Just got, we're heading down there this weekend. Governor Huckabee and I are doing a big event up at West Coast Baptist College. And we're just kind of wondering, if they're going to try to shut us down. I mean, we're talking about 1,000 people meeting inside. You just wonder. I don't know.
Well, yeah, that probably won't happen. They can't seem to get their act together. Part of the problem is the police have distanced themselves from the politicians. For obvious reasons. If you defund $150 million out of the police budget, it doesn't make you real popular with them. So there was actually a police memo that went out in the city from the police department saying any action taken against Grace Church in uppercase letters, the LAPD will not be involved. So there are all kinds of things going on out here. I think you'll probably have a great time. I'm
bringing a toothbrush just in case. Dr. Chappell said he'd bail me out, but
I'm sure he would. He's a good friend.
John MacArthur, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, on the Liberty University Newsmaker line. Pastor, what do you think is going on here? I mean, you're, in addition to being a pastor, you observe the culture at large. What do you think is ultimately going on here?
Well, there's not. This is not a response to a virus. When everybody wondered when they got bad models, maybe it was, but this is not a response to a virus. This is control. We all know that masks are basically a bacterial zoo you have over your face. they're not healthy. Medical doctors have told me 30 minutes of one of those and you got to get rid of it. So this is about control. This is all part of the strategy. This plays into the same strategies that are being played out on a number of fronts to bring down the country that we've always known, to limit our freedom. I think if you want a socialist country, you have to get rid of the capitalists, and they're doing a number with this on small businesses. It's almost like a variation of the Bolshevik Revolution, where you take everybody's business over with the government, and you can see moves being made in that direction. But I think a lot of it has to do with the election. You know, you would say, well, is this some conspiracy that's being orchestrated by one person? I don't know anything about that, but I do know these things play into the chaos, the utter chaos and disillusionment that they have generated on other fronts. And this is just one of those additional operations that's making life miserable for Americans. And I think they want to blame the president for it.
All right. Well, we're glad you're not in jail, Pastor. So that's good news. But honestly, you in jail, it would be like Paul and Silas. I think revival might break out.
Well, yeah, I said that. I'm ready for a jail ministry, I guess. Whatever the Lord has.
All right, Pastor, good hearing from you, and be safe.
Thank you so much, Todd. Bye-bye.
All right, Pastor John MacArthur out there in California, Grace Community Church. Man, they're really going after. I mean, it's all about the bullying, poking and prodding, and they have a couple of thousand people that show up every Sunday for those services, and they have not had an outbreak of the China virus. I mean, it does make you wonder what's really going on. All right, 844